Good morning, babies, and welcome to Simply Stacy, where the joy of the Lord is our strength, babies. I hope you got your joy today. Don't let go of your joy because you'll lose your strength. And that's what's going to help you stay strong. Well, I want to come from Galatians 5:22 and 23, talking about the fruit of the Spirit. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Now, babies, I have learned this the hard way. And some of you are in the midst of learning it the hard way right now. But as people of God, we supposed to be walking in the fruit of the Spirit. So ask yourself, are you walking in the fruit of the Spirit every day? Are you walking in love? Are you walking in meekness, gentleness? Are you long suffering with people and things? So many people now, they don't long suffer with people. They get frustrated. They tell you to cut them off, let them go. People don't long suffer. They're not walking in love. They're not walking in meekness. They're not in temperance. Temperance. You don't have self-control, of your appetite, of your sexual appetite. You don't have control of your temper. You don't have control of your attitudes, your emotions. You don't have temperance. You don't have temperance. And God wants us to walk in the fruit of the Spirit every day. He said you'll know them by their fruit. What fruit are people bearing? What fruit are they bearing? What are they bearing? You know, when you go in this church and you talk to people on your job and you talk to people out in your communities, a lot of people say they serve God. A lot of people quote scriptures. A lot of people hold offices and positions in the church. But are they walking in the fruit of the Spirit? He said, you'll know them by their fruit. You're going to know if they're of God by their fruit. So many of you are looking for mates. So many of you want to be a mate. But are you walking in the fruit of the Spirit? How is a godly person going to know that you're their spouse if you ain't even walking in the fruit of the Spirit? If these people are not walking in the fruit of the Spirit, God is not bringing them to be your spouse. You got to look for that, babies. You got to look for that in people. You got to look for that. Are they walking in the fruit of the Spirit? That's how you're going to know they are of God. This will save you a lot of heartache, not just from relationships with the opposite sex, but from relationships in your friendships, with your family. What fruit are they walking in? Because you're going to know how to deal with those people according to the fruit that they're bearing on that tree. Some of you, you got to get out of walking in unforgiveness. Forgive them. Walk in forgiveness. That's part of that long suffering. That's part of that walking in that love. That don't mean you got to hang with them all the time. But forgive them. A lot of people don't even know what they're doing to you. Babies, it is crucial that you learn the fruit of the Spirit and learn the manifestations of it. Because as you walk in the fruit of the Spirit, you're actually walking in the image of God. And that's what you want people to see in you every day, every minute, every second. You want them to see the image of God. So that will draw all men unto him just through your actions and your deeds, which is going to be manifesting the fruit of the Spirit. Once you learn to walk in the fruit of the Spirit, it'll stop a lot of stress and anxiety in your life. Some of you stressed out because you're not walking in the fruit of the Spirit. If you walk in the fruit of the Spirit of patience, some of you won't be anxious for the things that you want and desire in your life. God said, be anxious for nothing. You're anxious because you're not walking in the fruit of the Spirit, which is patience. Some of you got people, you're so sick of them. Your spouse, you're sick of them. Long suffer with them. Some people you got to long suffer with. You got to have patience with them. You got to continue to be kind. Some people want to do certain things for a limited time. Some things you got to do for the long haul. The long haul. Babies, excuse me. I'm up here yawning. It's early, babies. It's early. I need a cup of tea. Drink some tea. That'll help you relax and get patience. Babies, I tell you, God wants us to walk in the fruit of the Spirit. He really does. He don't want us tossed to and fro. He don't want us to be deceived by the enemy. So many people are deceived by the enemy because they don't know the fruit of the Spirit, so they can't judge people by the fruit that they're manifesting on the tree. They don't realize that the actions and stuff that them people are doing or the fruit of the enemy and not the fruit of God. You need to know the fruit of the Spirit to walk out your daily life, to walk in the will of God, to be able to discern the good from the evil. You need to walk in the fruit of the Spirit. You need to know what the fruit of the Spirit is. Babies, I love you, and so does God. I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful day and walk in the fruit of the Spirit. Know what the fruit of the Spirit is. Go in Galatians, read 5:22 and 23, and learn what the fruit of the Spirit is. Do a whole study on it and apply it to your life. And when you deal with people in life, see if they're walking in the fruit of the Spirit. Especially the ones that you want to marry, especially the ones that you want to deal with every day. You want to make sure they're walking in the fruit of the Spirit, because if they're not, that's why you end up hurt. That's why you end up stabbed up. That's why you end up laying on your couch and in your bed crying overnight because of what somebody done to you, because you didn't know the fruit of the Spirit. You didn't realize they was walking in the opposite spirit that you want to deal with. They walking in the spirit of the devil. The fruit that they bearing on that tree is of the enemy. You didn't know that because you're not understanding what the fruit of the Spirit is of God. You judge that tree on what you know in the natural. And in the natural, a lot of people go by what people, most people are giving you a performance, showing you their representative, giving you what they want you to see. But as you deal with them, you'll realize they're not walking in the Spirit of God. And the more mature and developed that you come in God, you will know firsthand, as soon as you meet them, that they're not walking in the Spirit of God. People so angry, so mad, that is not the Spirit of God. They don't have patience. They rushing. That's not the Spirit of God. It's not the fruit of the Spirit. Babies, just learn what the fruit of the Spirit is. Make sure that you're operating in the fruit of the Spirit in your own life. And once you do that, you'll be able to see in other people's lives that they're not walking in the fruit of the Spirit, so that you won't entertain the enemy, wind up hurt, wind up in situations that you don't want to be in because you didn't know the fruit of the Spirit. He said you will what? Know them by their fruit. What fruit? The fruit of the Spirit. Patience, long-suffering, meekness, temperance. You'll know them by the fruit. Once you learn the fruit, you will know. What is a tree? Tree is people. When he talk about trees, that tree, he's talking about us as people. He look at us as trees. What actions do they have? What's their motivations? Look at their behavior. Babies, learn the fruit. Learn the fruit. Learn the fruit. It is a protection against the enemy and who is serving him and who is serving God, your God. Babies, I love you, and so does God. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Smooches, sugar woogers.